Have you ever found yourself lying awake at night, quietly wondering what your old age will really look like? Not the version we see in photos or imagine from movies. The real version. When the house grows quieter. When your hands begin to tremble just slightly. When the days stretch longer and your phone rings less often. Many of us were raised to believe that having children meant having security in old age. That after years of raising them, sacrificing, giving everything we had, they would one day return the favor. Care for us. Sit by our side. Be our safety net. But the truth is far more complex. Not because our children don't love us, but because the world we live in moves faster than ever. They have careers, families, responsibilities, and burdens of their own. And often, the love they carry for us is quiet and distant, not because they want it to be, but because life pulls them in 1,000 directions. So today, I want to talk to you not to criticize or complain, but to gently remind you of something very important. You are still the author of your old age. And there are 5 things you must build for yourself if you want to experience true peace, dignity, and joy in the years to come. This is not about blaming anyone. It is about reclaiming your strength. Your right to age on your own terms. Let us begin. 1. Your health is the most loyal companion you will ever have. When people speak of retirement, they often speak of money. But rarely do they speak of the one thing that makes all the difference: your health. Because without your health, money is meaningless. A beautiful home is just a lonely room. A stocked fridge is just another task. A generous pension is simply paper if your body cannot enjoy the freedom it buys. Too many people sacrifice their health during their younger years for the sake of work, only to spend their later years trying to buy back what they gave away for free. I have met countless older adults, brilliant, talented, once full of energy, who now live in pain, isolation, or quiet frustration simply because they did not take care of their bodies while they still had time. But this isn't a message of regret. It is a call to action. Because no matter how old you are, your body still listens to how you treat it. Your lungs still respond to fresh air. Your joints still appreciate gentle movement. Your brain still benefits from nutritious food and hydration. Your heart still beats stronger when you walk, stretch, or even smile more often. I have seen 70-year-olds who move like they are 50. And I have seen 50-year-olds who live like they are 80. The difference is not age. It is attitude, awareness, and daily care. You do not need expensive supplements or complex routines. You need consistency. A daily walk. Light stretching. Enough water. Less sugar. A little laughter. A little sun. A little less news and a little more nature. Do not wait until your body fails you to start valuing it. Do not expect your children to carry the burden of your care if you are unwilling to carry it for yourself first. Because the truth is, when your health is strong, you are free. Free to move. To think clearly. To enjoy your meals. To care for yourself without needing help. And that freedom is one of the greatest blessings you can give, not just to yourself, but to your family. When you protect your health, you protect your dignity. And when you protect your dignity, you preserve your joy. 2. A life partner is not a luxury, it's a deep human need. Some people believe that love is only for the young. That companionship, tenderness, and emotional closeness fade naturally with time. But after working with thousands of older adults, I can tell you, the need for closeness never disappears. In fact, as we grow older, that need often becomes more profound. The hustle of youth, the obligations of middle age, they all pass. And what remains is time. Time to reflect. Time to feel. Time to long for someone who truly sees you, who listens without judgment, who knows the rhythm of your silence. Children, even when they are loving, cannot fill this space. They have their own lives, their own pace. Their love, though real, is often limited by distance, stress, and responsibility. But a life partner, someone who has weathered the years beside you, or someone you meet later in life, offers something different. They offer presence. Not out of obligation, but out of choice. I remember a man named Thomas, a retired teacher in his 70s. His wife had passed more than a decade earlier. His children lived in different cities, checking in occasionally, but rarely visiting. He was well off financially and had no major health issues. But he told me once during a routine wellness check, it's not the silence that bothers me. It's the fact that there's no one to laugh with when the toast burns. He later met a woman through a local walking group. She had also lost her husband. Over time, they developed a quiet, respectful bond. And though their children disapproved at first, fearing gossip and inheritance complications, they moved in together and built a new kind of life. A life not based on youth, but on understanding. On warmth. On daily comfort. Too many older adults silence their own desires because they fear judgment. They fear that their children will misunderstand. They fear that society will mock them. But let me ask you this: is it selfish to want happiness? You are not wrong for seeking companionship. You are not wrong for wanting to be seen, heard, and loved at 70, at 80, even beyond. If you are fortunate enough to still have your spouse with you, cherish them. Speak kindly. Laugh often. Heal old wounds if you can. Because your bond, at this stage in life, is your greatest emotional support. And if you are alone, do not assume it is too late. There are many others like you. Join a group. Say yes to new friendships. Let your heart remain open. Having someone by your side, someone who understands the aches in your back, the rhythm of your thoughts, the memories that resurface in quiet moments, is not just a joy. It is a form of medicine. Emotional companionship has been proven to reduce anxiety, boost immunity, and even lower the risk of cognitive decline. But more than that, it gives your days texture. Meaning. Warmth. A partner does not have to be perfect. They only need to be present. In your life, in your quiet, in your joys. Because when the noise of the world fades, what remains is who sits beside you at the end of the day. And that presence, in all its simplicity, is one of life's most powerful blessings. 3. Why saving for yourself is the most responsible thing you can do for your children. We often associate financial planning with youth. With careers, with mortgage payments, with saving for college funds or retirement accounts. But what many people forget is that financial independence in old age is not a luxury. It is a necessity. You see, when you're young, not having money is a challenge. But when you're old, not having money is a risk. As we age, our ability to earn declines. Our bodies slow down. We can no longer work long hours or take on demanding jobs. And as medical needs grow, so do expenses: doctor visits, medications, mobility aids, specialized care. All of it adds up. And here is the truth many find hard to admit: if you do not have savings, you become dependent. Perhaps you've heard someone say, "My children will take care of me." Or, "They owe me that much after everything I've done for them." But life is not always that simple. Your children might love you deeply and still struggle to care for you. They might be managing their own bills, their own children, even their own health issues. They might live far away. Or worse, they might not understand what you're going through. Love is not always enough. Responsibility does not always come with ability. And so the most loving, most responsible thing you can do, not just for yourself, but for your children, is to save for your own needs. Financial independence means freedom. Freedom to choose the kind of healthcare you want. Freedom to stay in your own home, hire support if needed, and maintain the routines that make life meaningful to you. I once worked with a woman named Clara, who lived into her 90s. She had never made much money, but she saved steadily from the time she was 30. She did not dine out often or travel far. But she said to me, "I saved so my kids would never have to make a decision about me they couldn't afford." And they never did. When she fell and needed home care, she hired a nurse she trusted. When she could no longer drive, she paid a neighbor's daughter to take her to appointments. Her kids visited her as family, not as caretakers overwhelmed with guilt and obligation. That, to me, is dignity. That is the gift of preparation. Let's be honest. We have all seen the tragic stories: parents neglected, or even abused, because their care has become a burden no one was prepared to carry. It's heartbreaking. But it is also preventable. This is not about fear. It's about foresight. If you are still able to save, do it. Even small amounts each month can build a safety net. If you receive a pension, manage it wisely. If you have property, plan for how it will support your future, not just how it will be passed on. You are not selfish for wanting to support yourself. You are wise. You are protecting your children from stress, resentment, and pain. You are making space for love to remain pure, not clouded by money or need. Because when your financial house is in order, your children can come to you not with worry, but with joy. They can visit you not out of duty, but out of delight. And that, my friend, is a kind of peace that money cannot buy but preparation can provide. 4. Peace of mind is built from within, not borrowed from others. There's a quiet truth that many only begin to understand after 60. Emotional peace is not something others can give you. Not your children. Not your friends. Not your spouse. It is something you must build from within. For decades, perhaps you've spent your energy taking care of others. You've put your children first, adjusted your life for your family, made sacrifices without hesitation. That kind of selflessness is beautiful. But now is the time to come home to yourself. Because here's what I've learned from decades of working with older adults. Those who live with a sense of peace in their later years are not the ones who had perfect children, flawless marriages, or easy retirements. They are the ones who decided consciously to stop waiting for others to make them happy. They stopped seeking validation. They stopped comparing their life to someone else's. They stopped holding on to bitterness from things they could no longer change. I once met a woman named Evelyn, 78 years old. She had 2 children, both busy, both living overseas. She told me she used to cry every time a holiday passed without a phone call. But then she made a decision. She would no longer let their absence define her presence. She started taking watercolor classes at a community center. She adopted a small dog. She joined a garden club. And instead of checking her phone every 5 minutes, she checked on her plants. On her neighbors. On her spirit. She still missed her children. But she no longer felt abandoned. Because she had found her way back to herself. Many older adults feel empty not because life is empty, but because they've forgotten how to fill their own cup. You don't need grand achievements to feel proud. You don't need endless praise to feel valuable. You don't need a house full of visitors to feel loved. You need meaning. You need rhythm. You need to wake up with a reason to get dressed, a reason to move your body, a reason to smile at the sunrise. And above all, you need to believe that your time still matters. That your words still carry weight. That your presence is still a gift. Let go of waiting. Let go of wondering why your children don't call more often, or why life turned out the way it did. Replace that wondering with wondering what book to read next. What meal to cook. What story you haven't yet told. Because when you build your emotional peace from within, you stop being shaken by other people's choices. You stop tying your joy to someone else's behavior. You begin to live with lightness. With grace. With freedom. That's not just peace. That's power. And it's yours to claim no matter your age, your history, or your circumstances. 5. The joy you create for yourself is the light others see in you. There's a saying I often share with my patients: you don't stop laughing because you grow old. You grow old because you stop laughing. As we reach our 60s, 70s, and 80s, it's easy to believe that joy should come from outside, from our children's visits, from the company of others, from special occasions. But when you rely only on those things, your days begin to shrink. Because life, in its later years, moves at a slower pace. And not every day will come with visitors or celebrations. That's why the secret to a truly joyful old age is learning to generate your own light. Joy is not just a feeling. It is a practice. A mindset. A daily decision to find something beautiful, even in the ordinary. I once knew a man named Henry, who was 81 when I met him. His wife had passed. His children lived far away. But every morning, like clockwork, he would wake up, make a pot of coffee, and place a single flower from his garden into a small glass on the kitchen table. It reminds me to notice beauty, he told me. He volunteered at the local library twice a week. Played harmonica in a small group on Sundays. Brought soup to his neighbor when she caught a cold. Henry wasn't pretending to be happy. He had aches and losses like everyone else. But he had built a rhythm of joy, a daily structure that made room for warmth, connection, and laughter. And here's the truth, when you live with that kind of energy, people are drawn to you. Not out of pity, but out of admiration. Because joy is magnetic. It is healing. It changes not only your own spirit but also the atmosphere around you. Joy can be as small as a walk in the early morning. As quiet as finishing a book. As playful as humming along to a song you loved at 25. It can be a phone call you make instead of waiting for. A memory you write down before it fades. A compliment you give a stranger just because it's true. You don't need perfect circumstances to feel alive. You need intention. And perhaps the most powerful thing about joy is that it does not subtract, it multiplies. The more you create, the more you share. The more you share, the more you receive. When you are full of joy, you do not become less serious. You become more grounded. More real. More present. And that presence, your smile, your laughter, your lightness is a gift to your children, your neighbors, your community. So if no one brings you flowers, plant your own garden. If no one invites you to dance, turn on the music yourself. If no one tells you how beautiful your heart still is, say it aloud to the mirror. Because when joy lives inside you, age becomes just a number, not a limitation. Your life still belongs to you. Let me leave you with this: the most peaceful, powerful elders I have met are not the ones who had perfect children, perfect health, or perfect luck. They are the ones who chose to build their own foundations. They made health a priority. They opened their hearts to love, even late in life. They prepared financially, not to become rich, but to stay free. They stopped waiting for others to make them happy. And they practiced joy like it was a ritual. Your life still belongs to you. You still have time to live it fully, meaningfully, beautifully. So today, ask yourself, what can I do not someday, but now to strengthen my future self? To bring light into my own days, so I never need to depend on someone else to do it for me. If this message resonated with you, I warmly invite you to subscribe to our channel. Leave a comment below to share what touched your heart most, or simply let us know you were here. We read every word. And we are walking this path with you. Thank you for listening. Wishing you a peaceful day, full of meaning and gentle joy. We'll see you again in our next video.